I have gotten one thing to dress my character in.
Everybody else is like level 50. I'm like,
I've gone back to playing Beat Saber for exercise. I do like a half-hour Beat Saber a day.
Oh, cool.
But I turned it to don't stop if you fail, so I can try the harder stuff without worrying about it, and it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed back when I used to play a shitload of Rock Band. We enjoyed playing like no fail mode. It was more fun.
Just playing to play.
Yeah.
I just want to do it.
Because then you don't like have the pressure of like, oh, you fucked it up and the whole song is screeched to a halt now and we gotta start over.
Yeah.
Like when Larry was in our band.
God, fucking Larry.
I thought I had. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. I think I can't see the stream on Chrome for some reason, and I was watching Farscape on Amazon Prime earlier. Oh, there we go. Okay. Earlier, and like in the middle of the season, it was like, this video is not available in your region. And I'm like, I disagree. That did not help. So I did not take my disagreement. But I opened up, I was looking at something on Netflix. I noticed it had the /CA on the URL. So I'm like, I had a VPN on, but it was set to US. I turned that off. I'm in the United States. I think for something happened. I need to bump the routers. I think maybe the router thinks I'm in Canada for some reason, and I don't know why.
Check on whether you've suddenly gotten healthcare.
I had a similar thing because I also had a VPN on, so in Canada, coincidentally, and then I went to watch the new Westworld in HBO Max. And it wouldn't load, and I was like, "Why won't Westworld load?"
Filthy
it just wouldn't load, and then I was like, "Oh, my VPN's still on, and it thinks I'm in Canada." I opened an incognito window and tried to go there, and that's how I found it. So I was like, "Oh, HBO Max is not available where you are yet." And I was like, VPN.
Yeah, I discovered that the dice roller doesn't work over a VPN, over my VPN anyway. So I have to turn it off when we're playing games. Yeah. Everybody else does work fine.
A geo-blocked dice roller. I'm sorry,
you can't. Something with the streams or the sockets on it is a little wonky. But
I mean, I'm sure it's money capitalism, but I'm like, nothing should be geo-blocked anymore. Just nothing. Yeah, everything should be available everywhere over the world. There's no reason that I'm sorry, you can't watch that because you're not in our country.
Yeah, because you're 50 miles from the border, and that's not where. Yeah.
And there are complicated copyright IP laws.
Yeah, that's sadly true.
Yeah,
that's very true. I know that because sometimes if I play, like if I'm doing something musical and I have like a real song, Facebook will tag me like, "Oh, you've been blocked in these countries." But I look at the countries, it's nowhere where I know anybody. It's not the US. It's not. But there's like 120 other countries in the world where I'm copyright blocked because I had a real song playing in the background. Like, all right, whatever.
Let's see. Oh, right. Yeah, we ended on a high note.
No, I don't remember anything.
So
yeah, I too I'm going to be like scattered to all.
We ended on Francis coming upon a crucified faceless body in the exhibit. That was a big.
Francis has discovered Sally No Face, we think.
Yeah. Or is very close. And Sarah discovered the I have my notebook. Where's my notebook? Nope, that's not it. He had a good name. He came with a good name. The buffet, the banquet,
right. the Kindred banquet.
Did I write that down? Yes, I did. The Vampire Fan Club, Kindred Banquet. So I think that's what happened in the day move. We finished up at night in the middle of the session. So we're still in the middle of the day now. And the current threats are still Sally No Face with her 4, 6, and 8 complexities, Limehouse Lurker with the final 4, and Figs Pigs with Low Hortensias 2 complexity left. Only one on that one. 9 clues on Limehouse. I'll use because it's just resolving that last one. And 8 clues out of 8 for Sally No Face. So Y'all are good to go on all sorts of stuff.
Ah.
I don't think we got to Paloma in the day move last time at all. I think, do you have anything in particular that you'd like to do with Paloma right now?
I'm trying to remember what I was doing.
Let's see.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? The last thing that happened was you got the legs from the child from Gerald.
Yeah, and I gave like
after-
my villain speech.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You had your big heel turn. That was cool. And you were, I think at the end of the night, you were
I'm a T-Rex.
drop something off at Sergeant Mallory's. T-Rex, what's up?
I'm a T-Rex.
At FW. Yeah, but otherwise, it's the middle of the day, so you are free to do.
We haven't seen Polly in a while.
I haven't seen Polly in a
that's true.
while.
I'm not really sure why we would, but other than Paloma's doing some evil villain shit.
See the Dr. Jekyll part.
He's just like, he just goes to Francis is like, I'm worried about Paloma. She's overworking. Maybe, yeah. Maybe Polly over parties when Paloma overworks.
Yes.
Francis has been trying to keep
about
trying to
to-
get Paloma to go to the club.
Are you about to say if you don't have anything, I'm gonna move on?
So if you don't have any hits, we can open on the faceless body.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out where I know we were trying to solve the vampire kid, but yeah, let's go with what you got.
Yeah, you've solved the vampire kid, you just need to resolve it during a night phase.
And I've got a plan for that.
And you got a plan with the kindred.
Sareth always has a plan.
It's gonna work out.
Brothel, kindred
Gosh.
thing,
Oh, right.
business venture.
Oh, yeah.
It's all gonna come
Let's-
together beautifully.
Let's bring Polly out then.
So yeah, let's open the episode on the stinger of Francis confronting a gruesomely defaced body crucified in the hallway outside the exhibit.
Oh, no.
Again, the face, it looks like someone started cutting on it and then just ripped it off. Doesn't seem to be Sally's style. She is very precise and superhumanly skilled as a surgeon.
Hmm.
And it's not Vittorio, it's no one you recognize immediately. What would
Let's see.
you like to do?
Well, let's see. What is my compose? Oh, I do have a composure of 2. I was trying to figure out character-wise how to play this.
Obviously,
I
you're
think
gonna
the
try
last
to
thing you did was
identify
like
the
look at
body
it
by its genitalia.
distastefully.
Huh?
I think you're just like, I think the last thing you did was like sneer distastefully at the crew's
Yeah.
job.
I think he probably, well, my guess is he sneered at it from a distance and then came closer and saw that it was an actual, and it kind of settled in that, oh, this is a real dead body.
Yeah.
Let's see, what is he going to do? I think, looking at the stats that he had, I think he's also busybody conditioned. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're still busybodied.
Yeah, because I feel like normally he would immediately be on alert physically, like trying to see where the threat was and if it was still present in the room. But with that busybody condition, I think it is instantly like he's trying to gather evidence or trying to figure out who this was or how this was done.
Yeah.
Which he's not going to be good at, I'm sure. But conditions do what
Detective
conditions
Quinn.
do.
Yeah, Detective Quinn on the job.
Oh no.
So, as you approach the body, you notice 2 things. The first is that you open the door, imagining it was a hallway that you came in from.
Oh, no.
It is not. It's actually a large closet. So it's this is not the exit that you thought you were going to be exiting
no.
from.
He's trapped.
Like a rat. I
In a
think
rat
I'd like
trap.
to get in a rat trap with rats. I think let's get not a meddling move, an information move. Still have been wood. An information move from you, and you want to like kind of look at who this is, or how are you approaching the body, I guess.
I mean, I feel like, again, this is probably not the best from a player perspective, but again, the busybody thing, he's going to, is the body nude or clothed?
Closed.
Weird
Yeah, it's
question.
dressed rather nicely, not as nicely as Artorio was.
So I think
That's how you
his
know it wasn't
first instinct is to check the clothing to see if he recognizes any anything useful off of that, to see if he can narrow down who this person might have been or what
cool.
where
That
they were in the
sounds
class
like an
hierarchy.
information move with reason.
Yep.
Are there any things that you would like to use with that? You don't have any things.
Yeah, I have no things, and I don't
No
think
things.
any of my moves are useful here. So yeah, it is just straight up roll 2 dice and subtract 1.
Yikes. All right, let's see what we get.
This is gonna go great.
Perfect.
You never know.
This is my favorite Agatha Christie novel.
Oh man, I'm trying to think if there is, like, Marjorie Allingham's novels about Campion kind of started out like this, with a sort of, at least her earlier novels were like this, you know, upper class twit wandering into mysteries. Okay, 2D minus 1.
2D minus 1.
And that's a 5.
That is a 5. Ooh, all right.
I'm sorry, everyone.
You have failed.
This is good. The second thing you notice is the sound behind you of kind of shuffling and rustling fabric.
Oh, no.
But when you look back, it doesn't appear that there's anything different in the room at first.
Yeah.
And then after peering into the sort of candlelit room again, you notice that the mannequin that had the doctor's smock and the wooden mask on it has moved closer to you.
Oh God.
And it
Don't blink.
has a scalpel in its gloved hand. And you see now that it is taking slow steps towards you. I believe this is clearly Sally. And a voice comes from behind the mask.
Yeah.
And hi everybody.
Hey,
Buongiorno.
Glowy Thing has joined us
Glowy
and chatted for the
Thing.
first time.
Hello.
It is a spookerino.
And Sally says from behind the wooden mask, I've waited so long for a face as perfect as this one. I don't know what will happen when I cut it off, but I'm just dying to find out. And she continues to step closer to you and raises another gloved hand to your face, the one without the scalpel.
Yeah.
What do you do? Or would you like to mask? Would you like to put on a mask to prevent this?
Not until the last possible moment, we won't.
Show her who's boss by cutting off your own face.
Yeah.
Well,
Cut her face
Can't
off.
get me.
oh man. I just
Or do what you like.
no, I'm it's like, again, there are smart things that this character could do, and he is not going to do them, I don't
No, never.
think.
Make Mark have to give up another. Make.
Yeah, I think he's gonna try punching her. All right.
No, that's great because vitality is actually one of the things you're good at, right?
Yeah, and
It
that's-
makes sense.
But also, I feel like that's kind of like, how
That's
dare
probably what would
you
happen, yeah.
threaten?
No,
to
it's
take my
totally,
face?
totally character.
Great, let's see that. This is a night move again, so, because you are in a very dangerous, spooky place.
God damn it, yeah.
So,
You're right.
What are you afraid might happen if punches are no good for Sally?
Okay, I could see something like I throw the punch, it lands in the mask, and then it just sort of keeps going in, and he gets subsumed or sucked into the form of the mannequin.
Wow, that was gonna be my worst.
We
okay,
continually try to beat your worst.
It's still worse than that.
Also,
I think you
And
you
explode.
actually land the punch and knock the mask off, and
But it hurts
is
real bad.
your face, but it's your face from the painting.
oh no.
Oh, son.
Well, okay, now wow.
You want to throw
okay.
a punch?
Yeah. No, this is a great case of the failure state being so intriguing that
Must follow.
All right, so that's 2 dice plus 3, straight up.
1 star, would not punch again.
okay, so 2d plus 3. All right, rolling. 13.
13.
Oh, that's a punch.
Bam.
How about a nice Hawaiian punch?
I'm proud of my role description on this.
Amazing.
And you know what?
Yeah. So
Correct me
you
if I'm wrong, Francis, but I envision it's definitely like old timey fisticuffs, isn't it?
Yeah, like Queensbury rules boxing is what he's up for.
So yeah, you land, you punch. She goes to block with the hand she had raising for your face, and you kind of do the like she was gonna block it with her hand.
Yeah.
But, clearly this is not gonna work out for her. She had a you can see now as you kind of crumple her hand, there's a small glass tube
Oh
coming from her
no.
wrist that something leaks out of now that it's broken.
Oh no.
Smells faintly of oleander, maybe.
Oh no.
And I think after that one, she is
Something we're
stunned,
supposed to
and
remember.
you can just rack her again in the face. And
Sally punch face.
the mask doesn't come off, but
No.
Sally goes down, crumples to the ground.
Oh, just punched a kid.
And
3 raccoons in a suit.
Well, now I need a
And
rug to
one of
roll her
the,
up in.
I think the
Lloyd.
advantage
To the
that
Omega
actually-
clips.
the advantage that actually happens is that one of the panels that had of the wall that had a painting slides open, and Vittorio is there, and he
Tutorial.
heard the commotion. He had let you in via a secret door,
Uh-huh.
and he like looks at what is happening and is just like,
Does he see the crucified corpse?
probably not immediately, but
Okay.
he is horrified and embarrassed, and like looks to Sally and looks to you, and like, since Victoria's one of your thralls, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think what he wants to do is he wants to hustle you out of there to safety. Not that Sally was an immediate threat, apparently. But he kind of like it's like, you have to get out of here now, and puts his armor on and tries to hustle you out. How do you react to that?
Let's see. But I still have the busybody condition.
You do, yeah.
God damn it. Oh, this is so bad. Oh God. Okay. I think God, yeah. I think Francis is going to try and drag Sally No Face out with him.
Yeah, great. Love it.
To the
because
Omega
of
Cliffs.
busybody.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. And Vittorio helps you.
Okay.
He's one of your boys. Cool. Let's cut over to
Oh,
Paloma.
that's so good.
Oh, busybody is more of a burden than I thought it
That was the
Just-
that was the best fail / extreme success
Oh.
combo ever.
Just a boom, boom. God, that was good.
Paloma, what are you up to today?
Wow. What should I do? Sally No Face is being taken care of.
If you don't have anything, I have something for you.
Yeah, I was thinking about, yeah, give me something.
Yeah, I
I
think
got nothing.
as you're kind of recovering from the night, there's a knock on the door of Hargrave House. And when you answer it, it is someone who you invited to come over and look at your lab anytime. It is
Oh,
Dr. Emily Blackwood, right? Dr. Emily Blackwell.
Oh yeah,
and
Blackwell.
she's dressed in a rather plain summer outfit, and looks kind of, I don't know, nervous or out of place. But when she sees you, her face lights up. It's like, Dr. Saffby, I didn't know if it was acceptable to come over so early soon after your invitation. It was only a few days ago, but I couldn't keep myself. You're so generous to offer to show me your work, and mine has not progressed at all. And I was wondering if there's anything I could learn from you.
Yeah.
May I come in?
Please do, please do. Yeah, so I'll be Paloma. We're not in party mode. As funny as Polly meeting Blackwell would be.
That would be pretty great.
I don't know if I have the brain cells to do that. The lies upon lies. Yeah, okay. Yeah, come in. I have to admit, doctor, after visiting with you last, I had been under the impression that you were farther along in your work than you actually were.
Well, I'm certainly farther along than anyone else I know, but still seems
certainly.
that nowhere near where you are. The most basic aspects of reanimation still seem to elude me.
Well, I wouldn't say the basics. I would just say you seem, and your subjects seem to be a bit stuck. You know, the ancients had a theory of healing, that healing was getting different energies or humors unstuck. Gareth of Sereth still subscribes to some of these sorts of things and is always trying to cleanse the auras around here. And I thought there was really nothing to it, and that it was more of a state of mind. But I do think, from what I saw at your place, that things do seem rather stuck.
Yes, and that's why I was hoping that you could maybe point me in the right direction. I don't know that you've told me the degree of success that you've had. Would it be possible to see your work?
Oh, certainly. Let me see what I'm supposed to be doing today, in case I need to go hug my baby. Or
I'm
kiss
thinking
her.
she is definitely Timlin from Crimes of the Future. So, Kristen.
Oh, nice. I'm supposed to secretly engage a romance and also show physical affection to my child. So this is about to get weird.
Awesome.
And then Paloma's just like, way more confidence than usual, like still coming down off this villain speech. And it's just like, the thing is, Dr. Blackwell, this may seem a bit anti-scientific, but I'm, as you might, beginning to think that anti-scientific is just a way to keep people from power that they need to step into in order to achieve their true form. And I have not actually attempted this yet. I have faith, something I never thought I would have, but I know. And like picks up the child and is like, yes, my dear, one day they will all bow down.
We're only missing a couple pieces of the child. What does it look like? We're missing the heart and the sex organs right now. Everything else is there.
So for
what
our
does it
viewers
look like?
just joining
Yeah.
us, Sarah, who is our sexy witch, is not in their original body,
Right.
and the child has his head.
I forgot about
The hands
After
are
the lurker
burnt.
fucked him up. Yeah.
After the lurker, yeah, it got in a vampire fight, and I tried to save him, and it's complicated.
Bad rolls.
Bad rolls. The hands are burnt, children's hands. The legs are decayed corpses of like very beautiful women's legs. And I do not remember any other details of the other bits of the child.
So I guess my question is,
Oh,
what? No, I mean that's amazing detail.
that's my memory
but-
of all the pieces.
Yeah, but like is it kind of like roughly stitched together? Is it like gross, like held together with fluid stuff? Is it still in pieces? Like what's
no
the
duct tape in Victorian London,
Yeah.
I don't think. Right?
staples?
In my mind, it kind of like I just saw the Pinocchio trailer. So in my mind, it kind of is like a doll. Like it's pretty well put together, and so I can kind of
Mm,
hold it around and flop it around, but it doesn't really. It looks more like a doll than it,
yeah,
like a creepy doll than it does like a child that's going to exist. But
awesome.
Creepy doll with my former head.
with your head,
I don't think Sarah has seen that yet, has she? Have
No. They know about it.
I think I know about it, but I don't know if I've
they
seen
haven't
it.
actually had the experience yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and I think Dr. Blackwell is.
Would you like to hold them? And hands maybe.
y-
See, here's your problem, Dr. Blackwell. You have
What
no
are you-
connection whatsoever to your subjects. And what you need is something
What do you-
more than just the cold clinical science. What am I afraid is going to happen?
what are you afraid she might do with it once she gets her hands on it?
She's
Oh,
gonna
no.
fucking drop. She's gonna drop my baby, and I'm gonna have to kill her.
All right.
Because Paloma has a lot of trauma that she's decided not to process, and it's just stuffed into the hate diamond. And now, this is what we're getting.
I think this is going to be a day move with presents.
Good, good. That's not something I have a lot of. I have zero of that.
That's
But
better
I
than
do.
minus.
But I do have a lot of objects.
You do have a lot of objects, and you are in your lab.
Oh, I've already used my bone saw. I can't like rattle the bone saw at her.
Got a tentacle. You got a mausoleum key, a 10-gallon cowboy hat.
Got a
or
lot of shit.
ectoplasm.
The 10-gallon cowboy hat is like the giant squid card from
It's the
Alpha
nuclear
Chat.
option. Yeah.
Yeah, I only use that for special occasions. This, I do have the,
I put on
I
the
have-
cowboy hat 35 minutes ago.
I have both
Partner.
medical text and the French science text, and I have them
Yeah.
beside each other. And I think I'm like showing her pictures in both of them and how they look the same and different. And
Nice.
just being a, and there's like, it's just like, it's a lot is happening. All the Bunsen
Which-
burners, everything is.
Which one do you want to
going.
mark off to use?
The French science one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So that's 3 dice, top 2. No.
Yeah, why
monomorphs.
not?
Why not?
What? Why not? Uh,
Perfect.
Please solve mysteries with punches.
Hey, that's not bad.
That is
Yeah.
an 8. All right, cool. That'll
Yeah.
do it with the complication.
All right.
Um,
Yeah. And I, you know what? So far, all of these complications, I've just rolled them into my personality. And I've suffered no consequences.
None.
So yeah, she gingerly picks it up and starts looking it over and kind of like feeling the seams, kind of where the disparate pieces have been joined, and kind of like turning it over in her hands, and very, very gently, and puts her face real close to Gareth's face, I guess.
Starts dancing with it as the Righteous Brothers starts to play.
Oh, no.
And she's like just enthralled, just fascinated with it, and hands it back to you and says, "Thank you so much." And as she does, the eyes flick open and it turns to her and mouths something and kind of reaches out for her.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, it totally does.
Did she just steal your child? What just happened?
Did it
Sarah,
just imprint on it?
I think so. Sarah, you found the location of the Vampire Fan Club, the Kindred Banquet.
Yes, and that's where I am.
All right, you have made it to the Kindred Banquet. Yeah, what does, where do they meet? What does it look like?
I feel like it's a building akin to the Masons. It's that kind of, it's like it's like a Mason's lodge that they purportedly meet under the guise of being like a
Fraternal society.
Yes, a philosophers club. We love to
Yeah.
get together and have tea and cakes and speak of the world's deep ideas and great thinkers.
Does a member open the door? Or do they have servants?
I don't think they're big enough to have servants now. I don't
Yeah.
think they're still kind of a little bit of a down home, organization.
Awesome. So I think the door opens and it's a younger man who opens the door and kind of looks over and says, "You're the one who was looking for us?" And he's kind of looks like he's out of a Tim Burton movie. You can tell without him telling you that his name is Timothy
Chalamet.
He has tried to keep up the appearance of a middle upper class Londoner. What do you see about him that gives away that he is a vampire enthusiast?
That his clothes, while still, like nice, they are a bit dated for the time. Probably bought at a thrift shop, so they may have some obvious repairs and a little bit older styles. Not really something you'd wear if you were a contemporary gentleman. But yet, styles that lean more towards the Gothic.
Yeah, the thrift store goth. Got it.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool. So
Also, a great band playing at Lollapalooza. Thrift store goths.
The second album, not so great, but
Yeah,
after
true.
that, it really sort of got in the groove.
Really sold out.
So he introduces himself. His name is, in fact, Timothy. He escorts you inside, and it looks like what you would expect from a sort of gentleman philosophers club. There are not only gentlemen there. They're mostly, everyone seems to be definitely under 30. and there's a dozen or so people lounging around. It is basically what you would expect from someone who like made Anne Rice their identity. Lots of red velvet and black curtains and red wine and all that stuff. I think everyone is dressed more or less in the same style. It almost feels like they might be trying to give off the air that the clothes came not from like from secondhand, store, but more like they got it off an actual corpse from the 1700s or something. Yeah, so Timothy offers you a glass of wine and sort of gives you the tour and says, so
I feel like I have to
come
respond
to us
with, I don't drink wine, but I drink absinthe.
all right, yeah, that's brandy then. Hot topic for grown-ups. Hot topic is for grown-ups. So Timothy says,
That's true.
I've been told that you come to us with an interesting offer.
Indeed I do, sir. You see, I am now one of the co-owners of what once was the Crow's Nest. You probably know it as a place where...
A brothel.
Indeed. People go...
I'd heard that place burned down or something.
Well, it didn't burn down. There were some unfortunate fires involved. However, it is my endeavor to take it beyond what it once was. There's nothing wrong with people who want to fill their more basic earthly needs and desires. But I wish to cater to a higher clientele who would also like to dabble and fulfill more fantastic and unearthly desires as well.
More akin to the Hellfire Club, you mean?
Do I know about this?
You probably do, yeah.
What do I know about the Hellfire Club? Have we talked about this before?
It's basically a sex club for the aristocrat, like Benjamin Franklin was a member.
Oh, right, gotcha. So, guys, yeah, but please, somewhat, but even more refined. You see, I have certain contacts and abilities that sort of merge realms, and I come here because I have two needs, and I believe they're needs that fall in line with your club's interests. The first being, well, let me put it this way. Any business needs employees to run said business.
I'm afraid that we are all quite occupied with our own. We are not, most of us are not interested in that sort of work.
Well, as employees of said business, when you are employed, then of course, I think it's only fair that you get to partake of the business's wares free of charge.
Are you attempting to hire us as prostitutes?
No. You would not. No. You would not be the actual workers in that way. More of the hosts and facilitators. And this leads to the second part of my proposal.
He's getting visibly flustered and like agitated. Why is he talking about sex to me? Why is she talking about sex to me?
And of course, you wouldn't all have to. I mean, there's a certain amount of employees that need to run the place, and those who are interested would receive benefits for free. Those who are not, merely being affiliated, would still get discounts upon services. And you see, this leads to the second part. One of the many unearthly services I would love to offer is those curious about having Congress with some of the more fantastical beings on our planet. For you see, as you well know, some of them require a different kind of sustenance than us earthly humans do. That they're maligned for this, they're often hunted and killed for this, which is really unfair if you ask me, when there are plenty of willing vessels out there who would love to help a poor hungry
Lesbians.
being.
Looking at Timothy's face, you can tell that although he sort of gives the air of sophistication, he's not very smart. I'd like a day move with presence. What do you fear might happen if Timothy is just outraged by this proposal?
They'll want no part of it because it's kind of my only gambit at this point. And if I can't get them on board, I mean, there might be other avenues to investigate, but it's more time and it's another, like this is the only immediate.
Yeah.
If I can make this happen, this is a solution, threat solved, business started.
Done.
Just everything falls into place beautifully.
All right.
So yeah, I think my biggest fear is just that they just have no interest despite the benefits that they could reap from it.
Do you want to use an item?
Well, that is why I unchecked them all, so I feel like I probably should not be stingy with my items, since I still do have a pretty good amount of them. Just seeing what I can reasonably use here in a way.
His head walking stick might be impressive.
That's exactly the one I was thinking of as well. Check that off. Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like as I'm
so
sitting there,
that
I'll very prominently display it at my side, sort of tapping it on the floor. As I'm
Very
speaking.
fancy. Cool. So that's presence with advantage. 3 dice, top 2 and 1.
So let's start with the 3 dice. And the first part of that is a 5 and a 6.
It's an 11,
Plus-
which gets you to a 12.
Well, wait. Because you said
3 dice, top 2.
presence. Yeah, you said
Yeah.
presence. Okay, right, gotcha.
Yeah. That does it, and then some. All right. So I think what what happens is that the sort of clouds lift from Timothy's face, and he almost this clarity comes to his eyes, and he steps closer to you and kind of looks around discreetly and says, You've had Congress with a Dark One? You can make that available to us? You can make us one of them? Or make me one of them, at least. I can't speak for the others.
Well, I also cannot.
I would be forever in your debt. And he kind of clutches at your lapels. Or what is Sarah wearing, I guess?
I believe a nice dress, like my picture.
Dress.
Oh yeah, I've got a nice little
Oh, yeah, little
off
velvet
the
dress.
shoulder velvety dress.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't grab at you, but he just is very emphatic, close at you. It's like, you must allow me to at least meet them.
Of course, my friend. I cannot make promises on their behalf. Further than this is what I do know. They need to feed. You could give them that sustenance. That's as much as I can promise. Now, as far as becoming one of them, any of that, that's not my. I am merely facilitating one who needs to feed versus sympathetic friends who may be willing to help that one need to feed.
We must go immediately, or when the sun goes down. Where can we meet you? He's just like,
I will have to go
Desperate.
and find my friend, of course, and propose this to them. I would say then, you are welcome to scout out the crow's nest, but should we decide to do this merger, if it'd be more comfortable for you to have the business here, this is a wonderful place as well.
And he just, his pale little face lights up. He says, of course, I'll speak with the others. We will make arrangements immediately. This is tremendous news. Thank
So
you.
for now,
Thank
I
you.
would just say stay here, and I will do my best to find my friend and bring them here this evening.
Fantastic. You can come here anytime. And he like rummages around his pockets and produces a little silver key. This, you may enter anytime. You are invited.
I look forward to a bright future together, Timothy.
Awesome.
Oh, man.
We are all
Nice.
making such bad decisions today. I love it.
Speaking of bad decisions, let's pop back to Francis.
That gave us no information about who you were about to switch to.
Bad decision train.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. My decisions were brilliantly great.
Oh, sure, yeah. I am clearly making the worst decisions because I think we're trying to tie up Sally No Face and bring her back to Hargrave House.
Roommate.
Yeah,
I
it's great.
love
it.
that decision. Because we planned
so
to make
you're
her our
able
roommate.
to do
was the
that
plan, right?
easily.
Okay.
You hear something rattling around in the basement, probably just Paloma doing her work. So you and Vittorio, where do you take the masked figure?
Oh my God. This might ruin everything, but I think the character's instinct is to take her downstairs to the lab.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's just all get in the same place at the same time.
Oh.
Yeah, so you bring the masked figure down to the lab where Paloma and Dr. Blackwell are. Blackwell is just frozen both by the attention of the creature had just turned its head to sort of gape and grab at her. And that's the moment that you choose to bring the masked figure down. But Paloma, how are you reacting to the creature kind of recognizing
I am,
someone
Paloma
else?
is really upset. Because this has not happened with the child before.
How do you react to Francis and Vittorio coming down with someone carrying someone?
And Paloma is intensely jealous of the child talking to someone else. And then
I think Francis is shouting, "Crisis, crisis!"
and I think Paloma is just like annoyed.
Oh no.
So I think
Is no one gonna follow the lab protocol?
I think we're gonna give Paloma the condition jealous then.
Yeah. Oh, this will be my own busybody version.
Oh no.
Francis has got a body crisis. Francis, what do you do with the masked figure?
Oh, I'm so prey as well. What
Yeah,
is
you
that?
are.
Oops.
We got to have a vulnerable state.
No, I'm refused to process my trauma.
Power through. Tamp it down. Let's see, so I've got is there another table I can slap this one
yeah.
on and restrain it to?
Yeah, I'm sure there's something with.
Yeah, there's a lot of tables. Just in case I wanted more children.
Sure. So I think he's gonna do
Vittorio
that and
helps, do that. And
then turn to Paloma and say, "Dr. Staffby, this is Sally No Face." And he's just got this kind of like, ta-da!
Thank you, Francis.
and Dr. Blackwell is just and she kind of holds out her arms like, I'll take the child while you deal with whatever this is.
Slaps away her arms. Picks up her child. You're gonna be in trouble later. Puts the child down back on the table.
And Vittorio, I think, once he realizes what has just happened, I think Vittorio met Gareth at some point, right?
I was about to say, is this the first time Francis has seen Gareth's head as well?
Oh, Francis down there? Oh no, Francis.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the first? Yeah. Is it
No,
the first time
everyone's
Francis
seen
seeing
Garrett's
Garrett's
head.
Yeah, Victoria's
Oh.
like, you.
Do I know
I
that
don't-
Gareth has changed bodies at this point?
I think you know that he's changed bodies, but I don't know that you
Yeah,
know
because
about the head.
we've all been
Oh,
around
okay.
together, but I can't
And
remember.
so
if
it's
you
like,
knew.
oh, you must be Garrett's friend. We'll get all of this sorted out soon.
Assuming that's like a doll that Gareth made of himself.
Or that this is
Or
what
that,
he
that's the
exchanged
body.
with,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
things happened.
Things happened. I mean, things did happen. Okay, yeah. The child
yeah.
is, you're grounded. Pushes Dr. Blackwell away from the child
Oh.
and goes over to Sally No Face. So Princess, I'm assuming she's restrained because she remains dangerous?
As far as I can tell, she tried to take my face. And she
Oh.
took someone else's face. I wasn't
Thank
able
you.
to identify them, but she.
Excellent note taking, Francis. Way
He's
better
got a
than last
drawing
time.
of the body.
Thank you. I'll take your notes. Oh, excellent. Improved. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck to do now. I guess I'll just talk to it. Yeah.
Oh, it is unconscious. Yeah.
Oh,
Gareth laid it out.
I guess I'll treat it. Yeah. I got
Ooh.
medicine stuff. Yeah.
Cool. How are you? Do you just want to revive it?
I have field
or-
medicine. Oh, that's during a
You
night
do?
roll.
But are we talking about the child or the Sally No Face?
Sally, right?
That Francis punched.
Right. Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Francis laid Sally out something fierce.
Aside,
Yeah,
well, I
field-
guess it is not for threats,
Black.
really.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a threat. No,
So I can't like take her body parts from her child. I don't know. I've lost my morals, so things are gonna go weird.
So theoretically, I'm gonna say you could, if you wanted to, amputate the heart or the genitals of whoever is behind this mask.
I don't think Paloma wants to do that. Like, I think Paloma's like lost it is, but more in the way of like, I want to be a god.
Yeah.
But here sees a patient and is like, I'm gonna treat this patient.
And all three of us have to have the discussion before we can solve Sally No Face, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
But if this patient were to die,
So I don't think
change.
it doesn't have to be all three of us, does it, to solve it? I mean,
Or when I don't think you all three have to be present, but I think it's the discussion is between the players, not the
Oh,
players
okay.
necessarily.
okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying you don't necessarily have to wait for me to get back if you.
Just kind of cool our
Or
heels.
when the hunters, yeah, I guess in this it's the hunters. But yeah, but we could definitely say that Seraph shows up at some point. It's probably getting
Yeah.
to be late in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I am
Francis
coming
has
back
had a
now.
long day.
I
Yeah.
took care of my
I'll-
business at the club.
I'll say
Just-
Paloma like just kind of treats her generally, gets her comfortable. Doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a whole to do, but
Are you taking the mask off or are you leaving it on?
oh, I want to take this mask off.
Oh, no.
I'm a scientist. What am I
Oh,
supposed
no,
to do?
no. that's
You wouldn't just leave it.
not
Yeah, you wouldn't leave it on your
objecting
patient
to-
on the table with a
Yeah.
mask. Nah.
I am
especially someone who
aware.
gotten punched out. Yeah, so the
Terrible
mask
idea.
is you feel around and it is it
Are you
strangely
just-
conforms to the face. There's not like a strap or anything, but you're able to like often there's like a kind of like
Is this like going to be like the green ribbon story?
No,
Oh,
not this time.
no.
But yeah, it's definitely a like a mask that just conforms to the face and kind of like comes off almost a pop. And beneath
with
the
the
mask
skin.
is
Oh,
A badger.
buggers.
face that Francis recognizes.
Oh, no. Is it someone from the party?
It's someone from the party. Yeah.
Is it Periwinkle?
No, the other party. The other
No. Which of the
Um,
parties that Francis has?
So many
The
parties.
party at Vittorio's.
Right, right.
Do you remember
It's Theodore Braithwaite.
Oh, the
dapper
lady.
boy?
Huh?
The dapper boy, the well-dressed kind of
Oh,
sleepy guy,
yeah,
who
that
was
rings a bell.
kind of threatening you a little bit and giving you a hard time, and you were just Francising him away. It's him.
Oh, no.
His face is awfully bruised. You have a punch like a fucking sledgehammer, it turns out.
Apparently.
And Paloma is able to put some ice on it and put some ointment or whatever.
A nice
And,
salve.
You are able to bring him to, if you
Oh,
want.
no.
Yes, I'm a doctor.
What
This is my job.
It's a
could
poultice.
go wrong?
In your well, let me see. Yeah, I think we're gonna make this a roll.
Oh, boy.
What are you afraid might happen when he wakes up?
Me or Francis?
You, Paloma.
I'm afraid he's still hurt and then I'll have to keep doctoring.
Okay. This is a day move, so that's.
Or I'm afraid he's gonna break free of the restraints and
Oh, okay, great.
steal my baby. I'm afraid the child will talk to him next.
Oh.
These are all great.
Sorry,
This is
my
gonna be
catastrophizing is turning back on. There it is.
this is just going to be a day move with a reason, which you have +3 in. You
Good.
can use an item if you want to, but
I think I'm good. I think I'll save my items. Since I have +3.
all right, 2 dice +3. That is a 13. Amazing.
Pandora shows up.
Doctor the fuck out of
If
him.
only these were information moves.
Oh, I forgot we're supposed to look for clues.
No, we don't want 13s on those because that gives we already got them taking direct action against us. We don't need
Okay,
more mastermind
okay.
clues.
Did Francis get a 13 on the checking of the clue? No, he didn't. Okay.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, okay.
That was very much not a 13.
Back in there, keeper. Great. So, so he is restrained. His mask is off, and he comes to, and like you can, he struggles a little bit. You can see a little bit of blood dripping down his hand, where presumably that glass tube broke and sliced him a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's just a trickle. You can put a bandage on it easily. And he just looks around wildly and says, what have you done to me? What have you done to her? Where am I? Who are you? Where's Francis? Where's my mask?
Look, if you ask so many questions at once, I'm not really sure which one to answer first. Which of your questions is most important to you?
Where's Francis?
He's around.
Francis kind of lean in and hello.
And
Busybodying.
his eyes dart around your face.
Oh yeah,
That's
I'm
what-
jealous and you're busybody. This is gonna be great.
Together
And,
we fight crime.
This is my patient.
Oh, sorry.
You see a little bit of relief when he sees that you're there and armed. This is where. Who are you and where have you taken me?
Sorry, this is the dapper boy talking.
Dapper boy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he is, again, he's like maybe 13 tops. But kind of like
Dealing with a lot of children.
he's an uplifted street urchin. So he's a someone who was brought up and now thinks he's fancy.
Well, we answered your question, and I think we have some questions for you. First of all, the first question I have, which I will ask just one of, which is the easier way for someone else to answer your question instead of giving them double or triple or multi-barreled questions like you just did. For instance, if I were designing a survey and I asked you 2 questions at once, you wouldn't know at all which one to answer first.
Francis
So what I
stares
will
back
ask
like
you-
a dog being shown a card trick.
And Paloma's in full lecture mode. And that is why I will ask you, why did you try to take Francis's face off?
Because I would not take his face. That's not my place.
He's a lackey.
Okay, but Francis just said you tried to take his face off, he punched you, now you're here. So that answers some of your other questions.
Where's here? Where's here? Who are you? I don't.
Am I allowed to throw this kid?
No, you're not. He's a threat.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would be amazing though.
well, that I
Um,
also wasn't sure about that, where I was like, is this actually selling no face, or are we like, are we
Sally-
holding a kid hostage again?
a Sally lackey?
You are holding a kid hostage for sure. Yeah, and he like looks at Francis again and says, it like a little dawn of realization comes over his face. You must be the doctor. You weren't at the party.
Well, I'm often at the same parties Francis is, just in a different location.
I go to a lot of parties. Dr. Safi, fewer.
As I end up in the closet the whole time.
What?
No one checks on me.
Oh, God.
Entire party.
And he like
A witch
his-
takes
his
my
head-
hair.
His head darts around and he says, so this must be Hargrave. You have to let me go or keep me safe.
What are we keeping you safe from?
If I don't bring him to her, I mean, and he like tries to raise his hands to sort of
Hmm.
gesture to himself. It's like I'm not worthy, but of being. She would never take, but I'd hate to think what
Well-
else she might do.
Okay, I want to try something.
Oh, no.
I think Paloma wants to try to get a clue out of him by
Yeah.
threatening to take his heart.
Excellent.
Oh, my God.
I wanted to check our safety. It's
Yeah.
harm to children. Is that harm to children?
I wouldn't count him as a child necessarily.
I'm
Part
not
of
really
that
gonna hurt
is-
him. I just want to scare him.
Where is harm?
Well, I guess I would hurt him. I don't know. Let me see.
Harm to children is not a listed
No, harm to
line
children is
jail.
totally
We
fine.
did not put that on there. Okay, that
Nope.
says more about us. Okay, and I think what Paloma's gonna be doing is like, this is an awful lot of talk.
Oh,
Picks up a
God.
picks up
And
a
Francis is
scalpel.
like, yes, of course.
Does she
And
get like
picks up
the
a
chest spreader thing?
Oh,
yeah,
God.
and just goes ahead and starts putting things on his chest and like, the thing is, I don't need another patient in this room, but I do need a human heart.
Ah.
And if you aren't going to give us some kind of way to solve this Sally no-face nonsense, then I have a human being to birth, and I have a new kingdom to create. It's just like really unhinged, like going ahead and putting things on. Just like, this is bad. I'm not proud of myself.
So you're trying to get a clue out of him?
Yeah, by threatening him.
Great. I think this is going to be with presence because you're trying to intimidate him. So
Yeah,
that's
again,
your-
never
again,
using my strengths.
Oh,
Great, I
man,
love it.
and I can't do any auxiliary on this because I don't have any objects
I'm
left.
jealous and I'm prey, but I do have a lot of objects.
Yeah, you do have a lot of objects and you are in your lab there, so any of them will be
Medical text.
medical texts.
All right, you're about what,
Let's roll with
13, so your
advantage.
heart will be about right here.
3 dice top 2, no modifier.
Great. What have we become?
Oh, and you get advantage anyway.
You mean, what have we always been?
Yeah.
Thunderclap, lightning. Oh,
That is a
God.
10. Nice.
Whew.
Let me find a clue for you.
Maybe
Yeah,
Paloma
so
needs
he
a
is
bath.
he is horrified. And like he is very scared of what Sally might do to him, but this is an imminent threat. And he knows that without a heart, he's no good to her at all.
Oh.
What do you already have?
Maybe we're the threats.
Someone there's another house trying to take down Hargrave House.
I mean, kind of, yeah. there
Well,
is.
yeah, I mean, that's
The
actually accurate.
M. Night Shyamalan.
There's a separate game
Shyamalan.
where the mastermind, where the players are playing under the Theodore Braithwaite.
Yeah,
They're the
Braithwaite and
heroes.
Company.
Yeah,
We have to stop them.
we have to stop Hargrave House.
They just kidnapped a 13-year-old.
Do you have that one?
How many cops have gotten killed around them?
A lot of
I
cops.
killed, like,
Every
and
time
grave
we leave, I
diggers.
think.
Yeah, Braithwaite and Company are like, we are failing so hard. We have so much power over this city, and yet we just aren't stopping the timers, and they just keep on.
That's why they wanted to reverse all the stuff we've done.
Like the witches are the good guys, it turns out.
God damn it.
Are we? Yeah, we're Thanos.
Yeah, he is losing his shit.
That makes
And-
sense.
Is just like gibbering for a little bit, and then he like as you like start to like put the clamps on his chest and brandish the scalpel, he's like, look at my pocket, look at the in the cloak, in the pocket. He's like losing his shit. Underneath the Dr. Spock that he's wearing is dressed very nicely. Francis is impressed. And in the inside pocket of his coat, underneath the doctor's jacket, there is an envelope. Paloma opens up the envelope, and there is a letter from the Royal Academy of Medicine, and the top half is burnt, so you can't tell who it is to, but the letter indicates that whoever this was to was recently ejected from the academy for untoward medical procedures.
Oh, kindred spirit.
Right.
This seems like a good place for.
I'll stop threatening him. Paloma puts the stuff back down on the table,
Oh, no.
all while maintaining eye contact with Dr. Blackwell.
Excellent. Let's take a 5-minute break.
All right. Thank you.
We'll come
Bye.
back and
Welcome back. I am a T-Rex.
I'm a
Welcome back.
T-Rex.
I'll be back soon. And we're back. Sarah, you are back at Hargrave, probably.
Everyone's gone, seemingly.
Do you ignore the commotion in the basement, or do you want to go down there?
I'm sorry, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would try to find them for sure.
Yeah, I think this is probably a good time for you to walk in on Paloma.
What the hell? Why?
Ending,
Oh, so much to take in.
So Paloma has got someone who looks like Sally No Face with her chest ripped open and some threatening medical implements there. Dr. Blackwell, who I don't know if you've met, kind of not cowering, but making herself small in the corner. Frances just being Frances, and the child is on the table, and it's Gareth's head just kind of like lolled over and staring at Dr. Blackwell.
And Paloma keeps trying to move the child so it's not staring at Dr. Blackwell, but it keeps...
Every time it keeps.
Take in the scene and tell me what else.
I feel like as I'm coming down the stairs, before I take it on, I'll start back, aha! I have our evening plan. I formulating questions in order of priority.
See, one question at a time is the best way to do it.
Well, it is lab protocol, I do remember. Who is the new person? Not that the one on the table. Who's that?
Which one on the table?
Not the one with my former face.
Yeah, I'll let Frances take this because I think Paloma is still so mad at Dr. Blackwell.
Yeah, she's just, Frances just kind of puts an arm on Sarah's shoulder and tells them, okay, so here is how I understand it so far. I'm not completely sure about the thing with your face. I know that is one of Dr. Safdie's projects. Do I know that she is putting together a person up to this point, or is that?
I believe so, yeah.
You have been told. I don't know if you ever retain it.
I never thought I'd find myself saying this, but we can talk about my face later.
I think I actually want to get a composure roll from you, seeing head on this amalgamation of beautiful and horribly disfigured pieces put together.
Fair.
Here we go. A composure roll just from the vibes of what's going on.
Hey, a 9. So
that's 9.
Complication.
That's a complication. How does Sarah feel about seeing Gareth's head on the thing?
I think it's just so I think it's almost like a does not compute moment. I'm just the human brain is not equipped to even process this. So it's sort of just complete. But at the moment, just complete and utter I don't even know what to do with that. I don't.
Well, take the condition dissociated.
Yeah, fair.
We're all doing great.
Fair.
We're making great decisions and preparing ourselves for success.
Cool. Continue with your line of questioning.
I'm pretty sure I completely misspelled that condition, but. See, I just turned away. I'm just going to ignore that from the other person that I don't know, that I've never seen. Wait a minute, because I was at the party, I was at Vittorio's. Did I see?
You were at Vittorio's.
So do I recognize?
You were busy being poisoned.
upstairs, yeah.
Yeah, I was
You
upstairs.
were being poisoned to someone else, by someone else.
So I was like, who is that? I don't
Oh.
know that person.
That dapper boy was at Vittorio's party and he tried to take my face. I went to the art exhibit.
I would not take your face, sir. I would not take your face.
Ignore him. I went to the private art exhibit that
It's
we were
not
told
my
about,
place.
and I found a crucified body. I made a drawing whose face had been clumsily removed.
Oh, Paloma hands over the notes.
And then
Of course,
this
you saw
boy,
the face on that one. I would never do that to you.
with a mask, came towards me and said, I have been longing to, I like your face, something like that, and pulled a knife on me. I, of course, responded in proper Queensbury fashion and brought him here for further investigation.
Right. All of that going in my ears. There's two pieces of information that are poking their little heads above the water to me.
I think at that point, Dr. Blackwell approaches you and puts out her hand and says, of course, I'm sorry. I'm Dr. Emily Blackwell. I'm an associate of Dr. Safdie.
Pleasure to meet you. I
Previously an
apologize.
associate.
I apologize if I'm usually more hospitable. Obviously, a bit of a brain overload at the moment. Did not mean to ignore your presence, milady. Just trying to tackle things in the order that they are apparently being prioritized within my very overloaded brain.
Dennis is sort of our big thoughts person here, and sometimes needs a little space to let that horse go around its paddock a few times.
Wait, before I forget the two things that poke their heads out to me.
Oh,
Number one.
was it one of the? Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. No offense, my lady. The two
I
things.
thought I was one of the things.
In what had just been said by the person on the table. You said something along the lines of you would never presume to take his face because of it's herd.
It's way too beautiful. I would never be. able to.
Paloma picks up the child and is like soothing it.
You said something that sounded to me as if you were implying that you work for Sally No Face.
Don't let
Of course.
anybody hurt you.
Of course. I'm glad we did. Well, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Oh man, gotta do something with all these clues.
So you know who Sally No Face is, and perhaps
No.
where we can find her.
I would never look upon her face.
No, of course not.
None of us would.
None. Oh, so she's got a group of followers. Have
She
you
needs to concentrate on her art, of course.
have you
This sounds terrible.
are you, my good man?
This is someone with unnatural skills using a group of thralls to
Yeah.
help them do their work.
Let me ask you, my good friend. Are you merely an admirer of Sally No Face, or an official colleague or employee of? Does
The word
Sally
you
No
want is
Face know
thrall.
of your a thrall, you might say, of Sally No Face?
An admirer, yes.
Let's say I were to meet Sally No Face right now, and
No.
let's just for the sake of this conversation. Would Sally know who you were?
Of course.
Of course. So she'd be yes, this is my friend. Your name here.
And Francis is whispering to Dr. Blackwell, it's really remarkable to watch Sarah at work. This is where the magic happens.
When Francis says that,
Oh no!
Paloma is like, well, as anyone with any kind of scientific understanding would see, since Paloma's jealous and does not want Sarah to be seen as the best clue getter,
We are in your lab as well. This is your lab.
and with the proper equipment, slams the chest spreader back down on the table.
Which I'm sure makes the Dapper Boy wince again.
It's a little bit. It seems that we do have enough to come to some sort of understanding about this Sally No Face.
Michael, what is your name, table person? Do we know this
I-
person's name?
Just call me Dapper Boy.
Dapper Boy. What was your intention towards good Francis Quinn here?
Hello.
to render him unconscious and bring him to Sally.
Bring him to Sally so that she could no-face him.
Of course.
Yes.
Have you seen his face? It's
Right.
beautiful.
It is
Oh,
a
thanks.
wonderful
This would be
and
the crowning
beautiful
achievement
face.
of her career to take his face and put it on
Oh.
someone more worthy.
What?
Well then, you put that so well.
I mean, you know who he is, what he is, how.
If Francis were
what
to
a
agree
monster
to go
he is.
with you to Sally voluntarily, could we all come as well to watch
Oh,
the
no.
no-facing process?
Oh
I imagine that
She works
she's not even that good with a
in private.
scalpel.
She's better than you.
Well, surely she could make an exception for a face this lovely.
no. Did the Dapper Boy just say she's better than Dr. Paloma?
Yes.
Yeah. We have to go there now.
Oh no.
This is not true. Can you see the handiwork here on my child? A little bit too close to Sarah.
Just look, all the parts are they don't match.
It
they-
takes
Titties.
any butcher can cut a face. It takes an artist to put one back together.
Should make sausage out of it. Grind it all together so it's not as ugly.
Are you also working with the figs? It seems.
Would you not
The
agree
who?
that though she normally works by herself, that she
Paloma reaches back for the chest spreader.
she would probably
Shut the fuck up.
would she not be so eternally grateful for you bringing such a lovely face to her, even if you did bring a couple of guests? I mean, look, we're like family. We would at least want to say goodbye to him.
Say, release me. Say goodbye to me now. I'll render him unconscious and take him to her.
But we want to go
Otherwise-
as well.
So we could
I could render
fake
you unconscious
Francis
as well.
So Francis could take just like a little sip of chloroform.
What?
No, don't drink that. Breathe that in. Don't drink it, please.
Oh, like a nose sip.
Well, look, my
I
friend,
I understand that one time I got the dosages wrong was an anomaly.
let me put this as simply as possible for you. There are two roads ahead.
Simply.
One road.
Ah, yes, he's doing his two roads thing. Pay close attention.
You take
Really
all three of us
oversimplific-
conscious. We will all be conscious, and you will lead us to Sally, at which point we shall, with all grace, give up our good friend Frances Quinn to her face collection.
What?
There are really
While-
never two roads. Once you
While
observe
we-
one road, it ceases to exist.
While Paloma observes and learns from Sally's technique, and I
don't have to learn anything.
or challenges Sally's technique.
We're having a scalpel
Well,
contest.
Road number 2, Paloma uses the chest spreaders, and you become part of the chow.
Oh, you're okay with this?
Well, that's clearly the only other logical option. If he's not going to take us to Sally, we have no use for him.
Oh. Oh, you
And
said- they
can you
said it.
imagine how happy Sally will be when one of us brings Francis to her? We'll probably be Sally's top person after that.
Oh, I would hate to go and be at the top sergeant,
Thrall.
which is Paloma's understanding of a
Yes.
high-ranking police officer.
A thrall,
yeah.
yes, as Francis said, thrall. We would be Sally's top thrall if we brought her Francis. And if Dapper Boy is not going to take a little risk and allow a few guests, I'll say right now, I'll say it, I will.
Hmm?
I'll bring Francis and I'll let Paloma come along. I will be Sally's top thrall.
Take my heart. she'll do much worse to me. And his expression is just, all the panic is gone. He realizes that he's dead either way. And he doesn't want to, much as one of Francis's thralls would not turn on him.
Yeah.
It's true, it's true.
He will not lead.
Well,
And he's not an idiot.
Do we have any truth serum?
we also have a vampire that needs feeding.
Yes. Oh, very true. Very true.
And needs luring.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I have that little problem solved. That was what I was coming here to tell you.
Oh,
And then we
okay.
got
You should
a
have
little
started
distracted.
that.
I'm
You
sorry,
should
there
have
was a lot
led
of-
with that, Sarah.
There was a lot to take in when I stepped into the room.
We're just like, popping things off the queue one at a time.
We need to get a project manager.
Right, yes. And perhaps a whiteboard with some string or something. I don't know.
Get charts.
What kind of organizational skills do you have, boy?
We need at least 5 years of project management
5
experience.
What's your Asana chart
Well,
experience?
I guess
And
now
you
the
have to have
question-
worked with technologies that won't be invented until 150 years from now.
Before we tackle the vampire problem this evening, first, it seems this is our first problem.
Yes.
What do we do with Dapper Boy now?
Well, speaking out of game, we have all of the clues. We could talk through the clues and work out who's
Yeah,
selling
yeah.
no
I think
I
we
de-
should make him watch us talk.
Yes.
I love
Totally.
it. I love
I
it.
definitely thought we were going to have the discussion for sure.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Let's have a freewheeling discussion.
Okay, let's look up the threads and the clues. Sally No Face.
The clues that we have are blackened veins indicating the presence of poison, a missing plant, the highly toxic oleander, a receipt for several bolts of very expensive fabric, a side character in a place they should not be, Vittorio, who was at Dr. Blackwell's. Rumors of someone in well-to-do social circles going on about having discovered the fountain of youth. I think someone talked about that at the party.
Yeah.
A name currently without meaning, Victoria Callis. A gold embossed card indicating the whole an extraordinary new exhibit of art and medicine. No address or date is given. That was what led Francis to the exhibit. A new victim, their face removed in a grisly satisfaction, who Francis also met. And the letter that you just got indicating that an unnamed doctor was recently ejected from the Royal Academy for untoward medical procedures.
Let's see.
Well, seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and Vittorio is in the room with us, or?
Yes, Vittorio is still there,
Oh, I forgot
silent and awaiting Francis's instruction.
Yeah.
Just trying to not be seen.
Thinking back on
Oh,
Unusual.
I forgot he's here.
Vittorio.
Very much unlike him.
He's here.
Vittorio,
He's
had you
also
heard?
here.
I heard something about a fountain of youth being discovered. Had you heard anything about that? Is it perhaps oh no, it doesn't ring a bell.
Pizarro? No. Who was the explorer?
Hans.
Vasco da Gama.
De
Ponce
Leon.
Leon.
Ponce
Yes.
de Leon.
I've heard of that.
Okay, rule that one out then. And you
I'm not
haven't
so
met
sure
Victoria
we can
Callis
rule
either,
that
have
one
you?
out, but
And
You
Vittorio
also did-
hasn't met Victoria Callis.
Not
And that's
no.
not a pseudonym, is it, for Vittorio?
Oh, do you also partake in drag?
Remember,
I do-
you also met Dame Margaret Teasdale, who looks as if she'd had some work done at the party.
I do think we can probably rule out the new victim, as it appears to me the new victim was merely Dapper Boy trying to emulate.
Practicing. I'm just practicing.
Yes.
Okay,
And
so-
obviously not
I
having
got
nearly
impatience.
And clearly
technique.
the blackened veins and the toxic oleander is, well, this is me saying this out of character. I can't imagine Francis saying this.
Obviously.
is what the thralls have been using to immobilize their victims.
Yeah.
before.
In fact, if Dr. Sappy looked in the tube,
in the broken vial, yeah.
immediately would be able to find a small
Yeah, I'm not
Rubber
really
bulb
good at
of-
observation right now. I imagine that's what Seraph was about to be poisoned with as well,
Hmm.
or something, maybe something different.
Yeah, so I think because I do remember you saying that Francis smelled Oleander when he hit the fist and the vial broke and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would yes, we could be like, aha, yes, that ties in.
And then the untoward medical procedures. So clearly there's a doctor, some sort of renegade doctor involved in, well, no, this is not, I can't say smart things in character as Francis. He has to be like waving the sheet around. And what about this doctor anyway?
Yes. Well, you know
What
that
about this
tie in-
doctor? There can't be some, they can't be practicing without a license. We
You
need
know
to
what?
investigate this.
I think that probably ties in to the rumors of someone in well-to-do circles going on about having discovered a fountain of youth. This doctor seems to think they found this, cutting
How
off
is
people's
Dr.
faces
Blackwell responding to all of this?
and wearing this.
She's following with interest, and I
Okay.
think when you mention a doctor who has been ejected, she kind of like shoots a look at Dr. Sappy, like maybe it's her.
Yes, I think that Sally is the doctor who thinks she's found the fountain of youth by wearing other people's faces overnight while you sleep, probably. That's why she has to keep getting more, because it's not a permanent rejuvenation. It's just like
What about your friend?
a moisturizer.
Whose
Victoria?
friend? What?
Sarah has a ghost friend who had their face removed.
Oh yes,
Violet.
Violet.
Yeah, that's where you found the black veins and the oleander.
She's just off partying now.
She's not
I'm
directly
not-
bound to Seraph anymore, but she's around.
She's
Partying.
enjoying her freedom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's
And if this
available for a
person-
good time.
A doctor in well-to-do circles would probably need bolts of very expensive fabric to have unique dresses made to go to these parties and such. They're not going to buy off the rack. They're going to have someone like Vittorio make them a one-of-a-kind dress. Would be
Have
why
made
they
several
bought.
of those. Yes.
So that explains
Alright,
the
so
bolts
that-
of fabric.
And Vittorio
And yeah,
being involved. And perhaps, and no, I can't say anything smart.
Tell us what your drawing makes one of us think of.
Oh no. I think he's trying to draw, Francis is trying to add some details to the drawing of the gallery he was in. Um, He's like writing in a very
Oh,
nice
yes.
cursive, altered paintings, and then just practically stick figure representations of what was.
well, the person who gave you
For
that
someone
card,
who enjoys so much art.
whoever gave you that
Adolescence.
card, or whoever's putting on the art show, has to be one of her thralls too, which is why they were trying to lead you there to capture you, to bring you to Sally, so she could take your face.
All right.
Yes.
That's the whole pipeline.
That was Vittorio who gave that to you.
But I'm also
Wasn't
mean
it?
the artist, well, whoever the artist
Oh, the
was.
Victoria Callis thing.
Yeah.
Oh, was she the artist for the exhibition you were going to?
We're trying to find out where
Yeah.
the killer's hiding. Is that the question we're trying to answer?
You're trying to discover the true identity of the killer and what drove them to this madness.
Oh, we're not doing the.
So
Well, whichever one you want, you could do any of them, but
Victoria
Not
Callis
clues.
could be the killer, yes? Out of game, I'm asking.
that's the only
Wait.
name that you have. It's
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, empathizing.
So an artist who's also a doctor.
Well, I certainly understand.
or someone who used to be a doctor who's now an artist.
Because
Well, if anyone can empathize with the doctor who is misunderstood, it's Dr. Blackwell and myself.
she's not
Of
making
course,
a living
yes.
as a doctor anymore, so
Although I would argue that our work is also a form of art, not like this. That's
Absolutely.
disgusting, but
Oh, God.
Dr. Blackwell's, perhaps we should start a society and invite this Dr. Sally in and help her feel more welcome. amongst people who are on the fringes.
Paloma, you are the absolute perfect person to empathize with an ousted for you work in groundbreaking circles that some
Thank you.
don't understand, and that
Thank
some would if you were part of a larger organization would probably oust you for your groundbreaking work.
They did, yes.
You and Sally
Universities.
are very much alike.
She might
You
be
and
Sally.
Sally, you and Sally.
She's Sally.
It wasn't for you meddling kids.
If life had taken a different path, Paloma, you could have become Sally. Only, who knows what her path led her there, but so many similarities. You
And I
could
would
lose her.
have told you that you were mistaken. And Paloma kind of looks at her hands gripping the like spreader and is like kind of starting to see what's been happening
I didn't
no.
through the
intend-
jealous haze. And it's like,
didn't
I can
do this
see how that might
intentionally.
happen.
But now that we're here, I kind of feel like this is an intimate scene happening.
Ooh. Let's
Yeah.
let's
Be an
make this
opportunity.
let's make it a separate thing. But yeah, I think we'll include that. This is definitely
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when we wrapped up here, this could be a
Yeah,
chance
yeah.
for an intimate scene.
So
to
we're
get rid of
thinking
some-
that they were driven to madness because, like Dr. Blackwell, like Paloma, they were driven out of
Mhm.
being a doctor and being an artist.
Yes, because their work, they thought they'd found something that could extend lifespans, and they were laughed at and driven out. No one would believe their findings, and it just sort of put them over the edge, and they had no choice but to work in the shadows and in more cruel and primitive ways because no one would give them the means to do their work legitimately. You have the loveliness of Hargrave House and a lab and supportive fellows such as me and Francis. She has no
Yes.
one, nowhere. She's on the streets by herself. An outcast.
Am I still being taken to Dr. No Face?
No, Francis, I think that plan has passed. And just so you know, in case it's not clear, that was only a ruse. We were never truly going to give you up to to Sally No Face.
Oh,
Everybody knows that.
I
Only
knew
an idiot
that.
wouldn't realize.
Of course I knew that. Clearly. he did.
Just like to make it clear.
So we're thinking Victoria Callis was a doctor that was kicked out, became an artist, and is now performing art/science as Sally No
Yeah.
Face.
She's kicked out because she used too much art in her medicine and also accidentally discovered a way to lengthen life.
No one believed, of course, they thought she was crazy. I found a way.
Because it did involve taking people's faces off.
Yeah, it involved.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's that. Well, we don't know that we don't know that her initial work involved that. Perhaps that's what she had to turn to.
I can understand how someone whose methods are unorthodox
Let's
Might-
take, for example, your child.
be ousted.
You are lucky enough to be able to work on that work in a safe environment. But if you were not, then you might have to resort to
The grave robbing.
to grave robbing or more violent means.
Is
of
that
procuring
did
your
Dr.
body
Blackwell
parts.
say that?
No,
If you did
yeah,
not,
Dr.
have-
Blackwell is probably not innocent on that count either.
if you did not have a safe space for this, then you might have had to resort to more violent means to
Francis might have
further
said
your
that.
work.
Grave robbing.
It's all so clear now.
Well, yes,
Um,
sounds like we should just go welcome her into our understanding, and that would
New
solve
housemate.
this. We could even set up her own lab down here, and
Yes, perhaps you could help each other with work.
Dude,
do we
Sarah,
allow the
would you like to
face
make the
snatching
roll?
to continue? But I guess we could figure out house rules as we go.
So sorry, what was that, Mark?
Chore chart for who gets the body parts. Sarah, would you like to make the roll? Maybe like a +1.
I don't know if like to is a, but yes, I will make the roll. And this is just straight up 2d6, is that right?
2d6 +1 because you get 9 clues.
If we want to
Oh,
do
2
maximum
plus 1.
difficulty.
If you just want to capture, destroy them, then it's way easier.
No, new friend.
New friend.
2d6 plus 1, you said, right?
Yes.
Here we go, big bucks, no whammies, doo-doo-doo, bam, bam, 8.
8.
Light whammy.
All right.
Which is, I mean, that's not
so
a
that
whammy.
is you did it.
It's not
with
big
a,
bucks though.
It's not big
Yeah.
bucks. It's little
So,
bucks.
the answer is correct. The opportunity can be pursued, but we will have an unwelcome complication, and or pursuing the opportunity will be more dangerous.
That happens.
And I think maybe clearly, the complication is while you were monologuing your answers, Dapper Boy had let slip another scalpel he had on him,
No.
cut his bonds, and you
Oh,
had,
Murdered
like,
everyone.
great, Victoria Callis. You like hear him scampering up the steps.
Dapper boy!
Victoria just like,
It's like there's four people in
All
this
6 of
room.
us didn't
Really? No one?
notice.
No one.
we were listening to you. You were so compelling.
And the child is just staring at Dr. Blackwell this whole time.
ah!
I'm trying to forget about that.
Get out of this place.
You're
still grounded.
I don't. There's no child in this room. What are we talking about? Let's solve mysteries.
Good, we're all just going to ignore our problems till they go away.
I think, at this point, Dr. Blackwell is like, I feel like maybe I've overstayed my welcome here.
Oh no.
I agree.
Oh.
I could return it sometime when you're not so busy, and kind of like makes her way to the edge and like tries to like run her hand along like the forearm of the child as she leaves. I'll
Again, our apologies, Dr. Blackwell. We're usually better hosts. It's just obviously you can see a lot going on this evening.
Oh no, this was very enlightening, a wonderful experience, and the head of the child turns
What
as she
is
leaves.
happening?
Lovely to have you come by.
Of course, I'll please feel free to call on me anytime you want, Dr. Safi.
Yes, maybe next time you come
my
over, you
laboratory.
could contribute something.
Other than, of course, your lovely genial presence.
Mm.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Heads out the door,
Paloma,
leaving just Vittorio.
I'm leaving Victoria. Victoria doesn't.
I don't think I've seen your child, Paloma, since it acquired my head. Has it always followed people when they leave rooms? Is that
Well,
a thing
Francis
it
is
does?
just trying to make small talk with Victoria about fabric choices.
No,
Yes.
it is a new.
Did you see the cut of his when she pulled back the get into his chest? It's very fine.
High thread count.
I wish I could have asked him. I wish we would have interrogated him about his stylistic choices.
I'm sure once we catch up with him.
I talk to that child every single day. I have birthed that child. And what? No thanks for it.
His eyes have closed now.
How does that, why?
You give everything to your children, and what are they? Ungrateful.
Just give me a moment, Paloma. Go walk up to the child. I'm like, now you listen to me. That used to be my head.
Oh no.
And you will respect your mother.
This took a different turn than I thought it would.
This doctor here has given so much so that you may live. And I will not have my former head attached to anything so ungrateful. You will have loyalty and love for this woman. Remember that. With my former brain.
And if you'd like to do anything fun, I can of course take you out to the club. Francis angling for fun, uncle.
This tolerance is maybe super unhealthy.
I feel somewhat responsible since that was my head formerly acting a bit untoward.
Well, you know what they say, all the parenting books that I've read. If the child isn't ungrateful, then it's not well kept after.
A little early for the rebellious period, but I don't know how these things work.
Best child is always has been precocious. Sweet Lucy.
I think that's the end of the day. Good plan, everyone.
Oh, what are you
Any
doing?
playbook moves or custom moves that are resolved during the dusk phase? Paloma, what would you like to do for your night work
Oh shoot.
Night work.
or your resurrectionists? Sorry.
Oh yeah, let's get a body part. And
Oh,
let's
Oh,
get.
by the way, we did answer a question, right? We can take that box, correct?
Ooh.
Yes.
All these experience points.
I'll take it for everybody. I'll take everybody's box.
Oh, thank you.
I think I'm gonna say if you fill up your boxes, we'll find another
Okay.
personal item for you.
A treat.
A treat for a little treat.
You don't have to. I'll still like using them. It's still.
I think that's fun. It's still good to get things.
I
now
have a
and
lot
then.
of stuff. I'd like a grave robber. I'd like to figure out who
Ooh.
is left in our grave robber retinue.
Gerald is still around, but I
Oh,
think
but
he's
could
a
it
little
be someone
puckered.
that's not Gerald?
Yeah. So I think let's make
Please.
it Harley.
But I request. Oh, we're back to Harley. Okay,
Back through the rotation.
Harley's like my buddy.
And some blowback.
Ah, we've been fine so far.
oh man.
Dr. Blackwell exists because of blowback.
Oh,
Cool. So you get a body part there. Let's go ahead and do the paint the scene for Hargrave. And let's do let's do the conservatory. A former hunter in residence turned out to be the legendary killer known as Roger the Reaver. This was his favorite room in the Hargrave house, the conservatory. Looking around, how do you know that?
Where is the text for the room descriptions?
Under the dusk phase there.
Oh, there we
I
go.
saw.
Seems-
I saw Jason or maybe I have a T-Rex was posting someone else's conservatory plans. It was really beautiful.
I am a T-Rex is asking, aren't we mad at Gerald for something like
We
did he
are
snitch
mad.
or something like that?
Are we?
Was
did a
Gerald
good
just the
job.
really bland one?
Yeah, he's vague.
Oh, he was vague.
Yeah,
He was
you
the
might
one
be
that was-
thinking of Lloyd.
Oh yeah, Lloyd not accidentally. Lloyd gave bodies to Dr. Blackwell, but
Not
Lloyd is
only
known.
bodies. He gave the body that you threw off the cliffs to Dr. Blackwell, who's having a dickens of a time reanimating it because it doesn't have a soul in it.
Well, we'll keep her on that dead end.
What
How
did
do
you
we
say?
know that this conservatory used to be from Roger the Reaver?
Roger the Weaver.
Wait, so explain this
Sounds like
again.
a
I'm
very
sorry,
vicious
I was
criminal.
distracted. I'm confused.
This is just a paint the scene for the conservatory in Hargrave House.
How do we know that a killer like this?
Yeah, how do we know that Roger the Reaver, legendary killer, this was his favorite room?
Sorry, I like T-Rex's contribution. The wall of the conservatory says, Roger was here! It's like a bloody knife.
That's the best answer. So we'll just try a second best answers.
I'll throw in something slightly simple, but like nobody will use the conservatory anymore. So it has this sort of Miss Havisham vibe of everything's covered in dust and left almost
Nice.
exactly as it was.
Bad
when
vibes.
Roger the Reaver
I think we
was
also
vacated from there.
there's a painting in the conservatory. It was a portrait,
Of Francis Quinn.
and that at some point I'm trying. Which among us, which of the three of us would probably be the most? Francis is probably the most artistic, right, as far as like knowing art and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Not
would say-
executing it.
I would
knowing
say
it.
that you at one point like noticed the brushstrokes were really strange and such, and that's when you realized that like the original portrait had been actually painted over to alter
okay.
it, and that the altered portrait looks a whole lot like Roger the Reaver.
Mm.
Mm.
Big time resemblance, like not identical, obviously, because it was starting with whatever portrait it was to begin with. But you know, like people take dollar bills and they make them look like Prince.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Where like somebody had painted over this portrait to make it go like, yeah, it does look like Roger the Reaver now. But you,
So a conservatory is like a greenhouse or like a.
Kind of, yeah.
I only know it from Clue.
oh,
yeah.
I thought a conservatory was like a kind of like a city.
It's like a.
It is.
Music
It's kind of like
school,
a.
too.
It's kind of like a indoor greenhouse. Is like like 2 or 3 of the walls are glass, and it's kind of attached to the house, so you can pretend to be outside without being outside.
Yeah,
It's very
It's clear.
British.
it's clearly where you murder Mr. Body with a candlestick. T-Rex said.
Probably was something that came into fashion after they started building, like after they could build like iron skeletons and
Yeah.
build glass in. Like, was it Kew Gardens that ended up with that or something?
Mm.
And of course, just because all the quirks of Hargrave House, we never bothered
Right.
doing anything with
Solarium.
that portrait. It's still there. You're like, what?
Yeah.
No reason to take it down. It's an interesting little piece of history for Hargrave House. So in fact, it's kind of a mystery we've never solved because it's not actually a pressing threat. But who altered the portrait? Was it Roger?
Ooh,
Was it a
I
fan
know
of
what it
Roger?
has.
What do you got?
There's still a colony of domestic beetles that Roger the Reaver used to use.
Is it in like a terrarium or just hanging out in the room?
Well, I think now it is.
Now it's all over the room. It used to be like a terrarium of them that he used to clean his bones.
Mm.
Yep.
But now they're pretty much everywhere.
Nice.
We should do something about that, probably.
Really, nothing can be done.
Nobody wants to go in there.
No one wants to go in there.
Bad
Bad
vibes.
vibes.
So what are the plans for this evening? A lot of stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Oh man, we've got so many threats.
Well, I mean, look. I think I've got the vampire thing sewn up. I could take care of that.
Last time I went and tried to handle that, it went badly.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got beat up by sailors.
You two.
No, that was the time before. This vampire has been the fucking
Oh, right, yeah,
brain
yeah.
of Paloma.
We've determined that Paloma is the kindred to Sally who could probably reach her.
Unless you did have a
Yeah.
little connection with the vampire kid last time.
It's true as well.
Kind of after he ate everyone's bodies.
Yeah, but he did not feel
So
alone.
we could conceivably
Maybe yours, mommy.
solve 2 threats.
You could be my
in
good
one
child,
case.
favorite child.
And then Francis could come with either one of us, whichever he chooses. Either
Yeah.
Paloma.
Yeah.
Or then again, I was going to take the child to the kindred banquet, which, those kind of gatherings do sound like a Francis kind of place as well.
Yeah, maybe I'll go party and then I'll go try to talk to this doctor.
Have we touched Fig's pigs at all today?
No.
Oh.
Oopsie.
Um,
Oopsie.
Now, bad things always happen when Francis goes to investigate Fig's pig.
We each
But-
have our own one that we don't really do well touching.
Yeah. But it may be out of game, min-maxi. It may be good to at least try to investigate that today.
I mean, if we're going to split routes, we might as well just fucking go full on.
With the party full on.
Solve 2 threats and touch another one. We can do it.
Let's see. Oh God, and we all have conditions at this point.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna
the
try
Figs
to-
clock is full, and I think they're going to be active.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, it's already full?
Oh yeah,
So
So-
touching it doesn't do anything then.
no.
So again, speaking out of game, we could focus on taking care of the Limehouse lurkers since we touched Sally No Face today, and get that and investigate Figs Pigs and make those our priorities. Though splitting the party sounds more fun.
I just think trying to solve both it sounds fun and also just kind of logical because it's not like, I mean, obviously you can't ever foresee what's going to happen, but it's not necessarily like having more than one of us is going to help.
Yeah.
Because of the way we have to solve the vampire and Sally.
Unless there's a fight.
Yeah, both of them are kind of like, theoretically it could help, but I mean, we each have them covered, kind of.
Hmm.
So it just seems like an interesting choice to like.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I feel like Francis could go along with whichever.
Yeah, I mean, I
felt-
feel
he
like
felt.
in character, Francis has forgotten entirely that Figs Pigs exists at this point and wants to chase down Sally No Face to its conclusion.
Mm.
But if he does that, then we get nasty consequences from the cannibal.
But we're going to anyway, right? Mark, because Mark said touching it doesn't make any difference at this point. It's maxed out.
Oh, okay. Is that true, Mark?
Yeah, they're going to be doing something one way or the other.
Okay.
And going after them alone at night might
Yeah.
Is a great strategy that sounds
is a
brilliant.
great strategy, and nothing could go wrong.
I imagine Paloma's pretty narrow visioned in what she's been doing too and hasn't really thought of big things.
Yeah, and Francis being a busybody is probably in the same mode of like, well, I have ideas.
Let's
Well,
go see about, you need to make sure
T-Rex
this
has-
party goes well.
I'm a T-Rex has clearly the best plan.
Oh, yes,
No.
probably.
Cut off Francis' face, dangle it over the Omega Cliffs. Sally runs off like Wile E. Coyote. Done.
Perfect plan. And then Paloma puts it back on.
Yeah. We paint Trump Leo.
Easy
Face.
peasy, lemon
Paint.
squeezy.
Oh yeah, that's a classic Hargrave plan.
Thank you. That's better.
That is the best plan.
I mean, it does sound like a Hargrave plan, if we're being honest.
Uh,
Here.
And somehow Lloyd is still alive and gets a hold of Sally No Face's body.
Lloyd is? No, Lloyd got dusted. That's right.
For now.
Lloyd got turned into a vampire and immediately ran into the sunlight. Dumbass.
Lloyd. Fucking Lloyd.
He even dies in an irritating way.
Cool. And undeniable has you don't have any unquenchable thirst stuff going on, right? Learn the best team. Yeah. So you don't have any physical conditions.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
My beacon in the night move
Hmm.
is that determined randomly, or do you just get to pick as far as like which threat?
I generally pick depending on circumstances. Yeah.
I'm just wondering because like I'm like, oh, you could be a real dick. It's just like it could work in my favor. It's like, oh, I can use that. Maybe I'll run in Vampire Child, sweet. Or maybe I'll run in one of Fig's motherfuckers because Mark's a dick.
Generally, I think if you're going after a certain threat, that's going to be the one that stuff is going to happen. So you're pretty good on that. Unless like it's an obvious, like, oh, of course.
Yeah, I was
I've
just
got a
curious.
full
I
punch
never knew
card
if
for
that was.
Pigs, so I'm gonna. Cool. I think we can end that there, and we'll jump into night phase next time.
And we're gonna take out 2 threats next night phase,
2 threats.
Easy.
One
Two
focus.
dreads.
and we're gonna take them out. Sally's gonna become our Paloma's new roommate / lab partner.
Maybe that's
Vampire
what-
Boy is gonna become the resident vampire.
Maybe that's what
brothel.
Francis is doing, is preparing the rooms.
He's gonna come feed on some of the Kindred banquet and then like feed on pervs who want to get fed on by a vampire child
Nice.
for the new business. It's all gonna be good.
We'll just rewrite the novel Fledgling.
It's kind of like let the right one in. But
Yeah, very similar, exploring sexual taboos. You're like, I know
Gonna
you're
go.
thousands of years old, but you are also a child.
Annoying Civil War kid from Near Dark. No, I look like a baby, but I'm not a baby. I'm 150 years old. Stop treating me like a baby.
I'll take this moment to recommend the short story, the sci-fi short story Stop the Clock, which is about some mysterious thing that happens that freezes everyone at their current age and stage of mental development. So you're left with like communities of 10-year-olds who have been 10-year-olds for 50 years and have learned a lot about the world and how things work, but other parts of their brain just never stitched together. with
Somehow that pinged my brain to ask. A friend of mine recently recommended Station 11. Have any of y'all watched that? And should I? Is it good? Should I put it on my watch list?
That's not the one in the mental hospital. No, that's
It's one. There's like
Session
there's a pandemic and a theater group in a pandemic.
Station
I don't really know.
11.
That's all I know about it.
Post-apocalyptic dystopian. Patrick Somerville.
It's a post-pandemic world and like a traveling theater troupe.
Oh, it's got Mackenzie Davis in it, so I recommend
That's all
it.
I really know.
Oh, and Lori Petty. Shit, yeah, it's got Mackenzie Davis and Lori Petty.
My buddy Jeff
Recommend.
Hinkle really recommended it.
I just decided that my Slicer character in my Stars in the Dark game is played by Lori Petty. Great. Basically, hacker tank girl.
Hacker Tank Girl.
So the Stop the Clock story you're talking about is not the Nancy Drew story.
Huh?
There's a Nancy Drew book called Stop the Clock.
Oh yeah, I had the title wrong. It's Start the Clock.
Oh, okay.
I put a link in the chat.
Oh, nice.
Toronto. Also, breakfast cereal based on Tron. Tronos.
Yay.
Chronos.
Little neon colored light cycle wheels.
Noise.
Control breakfast.
I'm totally making this up.
MTV. Now with lasers.
Ooh, you could also have discs. You could have little flavored
Little marshmallow
Tron
discs.
Yeah,
Throw them
discs.
everywhere.
Yeah. God, now some Tronos.
All right. Well, I think that is it for us. So I'm going to stop
End
the
of line.
stream. Thank
Bye,
y'all
Internet.
for hanging out. We will see you next time when we do a night phase. Bye.